Welcome back to Vic's Projects, everyone. Now today we're going to do something slightly different and play with our tools. So you've probably noticed in most of my videos I end up using the Ryobi series quite a lot, and I really like these guys. They work perfectly well, great price point, one battery, does it all. For me, they work fantastic. However, we've had a slight leak in the new shed and this battery is not very happy anymore. So we're going to take them apart and have a look. So what are we waiting for? Let's just crack into it. So that's the 5 screws on the top out, and then hopefully this top should just come off. There we go. Oh, need to find out where that ended up. Okie doke. Whoa, I can see some rust in here. Let's keep pulling it apart. So looking inside, clearly there's been water in here, and clearly these batteries did not like that. To be honest, I'm pretty surprised that it didn't catch fire. So I'm pretty sure these batteries are ruined, so we're going to need to get some more of these. I've got my spot welder, so if I can unpick all of these and pull these cells out, I should be able to just replace them, spot weld that back together, and jobs are good. I think the first thing we're going to do, however, is mark down the orientation of all these cells so we know how to put it back together again. It looks like this PCB actually holds these two sides together. So yeah, that's our plan of attack. Get some more cells and start tearing this guy apart. Now that we've got all the cells out, let's just see how many of these are completely ruined. I would imagine most of them, but for the sake of completeness, and we're here, let's just have a look. So there we go. 3 out of our 10 cells are actually holding voltage. Now, that doesn't mean they're any good, it just means they've held some voltage, but clearly all of these are buggered and it's time to replace them. So we're going to clean all this up and then start the reassembly. Now we're all cleaned up and ready to go, we can start putting our new cells in. So this is arranged in a 5S, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in series, 2P, 1, 2 in parallel. So both of these go plus side down, these sides negative down, and we'll just start putting the cells in. Yep, sitting on there nicely. So rather than replace this with any old crappy cell, I've decided to go all out and go for some proper Samsung ones. So these are 25Rs. So it's 250 milliamp hours, so 5 amp hour total when you put them together. But crucially, each cell is capable of putting out 20 amps. So overall, this battery can deliver 40 amps, which is pretty awesome. Continuous. That's continuous, not peak as well. So this guy should be miles better than how it was originally. Awesome. I should probably, yeah, they're fine. They'll be fine. Cool. Cells are in. Okay, well, nice has fallen in the shed, but we are getting closer to getting this battery pack back together and working again. So our next task is to spot weld all these little tabs back together. Now you can see here that what was those little H things, I've had to cut those off because they're all a bit, you know, torn about or whatever. But luckily these batteries actually come with a funny little tab. I don't know why they do that, but they did. So I'm going to use those, and where that doesn't work, then we're going to use some nickel strips. So thankfully we've got our trusty welder, spot welder, and this left over from when we did the Powerwall. If you want to check that out, then check the thing. So yeah, it's now just trimming them down and spot welding them in. So now that I've nearly finished connecting up the whole battery, we're going to be a bit more careful now with all the different connections and stuff that we don't short anything. As I said before, this battery can deliver about 40 amps continuous. So yeah, any shorts and things will get very hot very quickly. Well, we're back together now. It didn't explode, so that's a good sign that I've connected everything up properly. We'll do a quick measurement, and then we'll have a wander around this this battery and actually see what all the little bits do. So each one of these batteries, they're sitting at about 3.94 volts. So 3.4 times 5 in series should give us about 20, just under 20 volts. So if I take the negative there, the positive there we go, pretty much 20 volts. So they are connected correctly, and you can see what they do actually when we look at it like this. So we've got our positive there, we've got our negative there, and what happens is this positive then connects round and they just snake round like that until we get to our negative. What else have we got on here? Well, there's a big circuit board doing loads of random stuff. What is that random stuff? So we've probably got, I reckon that's a microprocessor by the looks of it. We've got a little temperature sensor to make sure that everything's all good. We've got these funny little leads here that come in. So they check, they're what's called balance leads. So they check each individual cell to make sure that all the cells aren't drifting apart too much. I reckon that little micro is also measuring the total voltage and saying is it good or not, so that when you press this button it tells you whether we got 4 lights of charge or only 1 light of charge. And then last but not least, on the back here we've got our 2 big, probably MOSFET, something like that, in order to switch the output as long as the voltage is within the right range. So that's what those guys do there, is actually protect these batteries from either short-circuiting the output or when they get dangerously low or dangerously high. that'll disconnect it from the output. So that's what that guy looks like. Before I short it on some random crap on the bench, let's get it back in its nice protective box. Okay, time to see if all that work has paid off. Now there's two things that this battery wouldn't do. One is charge, and the other one was run some tools. So let's see what happens. Red flashing light, green flashing light, charging, all good. Next one, big powerful tool. Of course it works. Brilliant. Oh, well, that was actually really easy. I thought it was going to be a bit of a nightmare. I thought it was going to be a bit tricky, but actually that was super easy. So if you've got batteries at home which are past their best and need reselling, I'd encourage you to give it a go. All right, that'll be it for this episode of X Projects, and I'll see you next time.